30-inch aren't being caught as much for some reason. I don't know what the reason is for that, but that cool weather we just had and the higher salinity levels has really brought out a lot of the smaller ones and a lot of the larger ones. There's some up there, they're catching in the 45-inch range, which are great for snook. I mean,
and of course,
they're obviously,
a great
you can't
fight.
keep them.
You can't keep them. They're the fish with the stripe down the side. Please know your fish. Get a chart when you're going out fishing.
Well, legally you have to carry a fish identification with you, along with some measuring device. Now, this is why you've ever looked at the coolers and people wonder why they've got measuring, you know, molded into the top of the coolers, the igloos and stuff. That's because of that reason. So it kind of, you know, you've got a way to go and measure the fish. If your fish, by the way, comes out to exactly, like say you got a redfish or something like that, and it comes out to exactly
slot
right
size.
at the slot size, it will shrink. They do shrink. When you take them out of the water, the skin shrinks a little bit when you're not keeping it in the water. So you can get busted, and no matter what you say, when you get back to the dock or you get inspected by an FWC, you're going to be paying a lot for that dinner. So make sure it's over. I mean, you don't want to go right at the end. You know your limits and your sizes and things like that. You know, I don't worry so much about that because most, 95% of the time I'm going out for just,
catch and
sport
release.
fish, catch and release. That kind of a thing. There's still a few people around that go out what they call meat fishing to go out and fill up the cooler. And you can still do that. There's a couple of places like Placidia Queen, Angler's Dream. If you want to go out and load up on fish, they'll get you out to some of the reefs and you can load up on the grunts, snapper and things like that. And those are great eating. When you go out and you come back in and you say you got a cooler full of fish, that might be one fish, all right?
Yeah.
One big one or a bunch of little ones. And personally, I like the smaller ones because of the taste and the flavor. Sheep's head, those things are great. They're catching a lot of those offshore. Lane snapper, vermilion snapper, the mangrove snapper. We don't really have much for red snapper around this area. 25 years ago we had a lot of them out here, but there's pattern changes and things like that. And everybody wants to blame BP oil and all that. That's a bunch of bull. This is just natural changes. And if you're in an area a lot, you're going to go and see people catching fish that you might not catch, but they're catching them because they know how. They've been down here doing that. And, out in the harbor right now, one of the really, really neat fishes to catch is going to be your trout. They're called gator trout, big speckled trout, spotted sea trout, and very, very pleasant. Even on the windy days that we've had out here the last few weeks, you can get up in the flats, either the east wall or the west wall, and a lot of places to launch out there to go ahead and get back into the areas, Pine Island Sound, Turtle Bay, Bull Bay. Now, it's tough to cut across the harbor to get into Turtle Bay and Bull Bay, but you can go ahead and launch over at the public ramp there by Placida or over at Eldred's. They charge $5 for launching and parking at Eldred's, which isn't bad, because you don't have the hassle of trying to find a parking place and waiting in line and all that kind of stuff like they do at the public ramp. Everybody wants to go ahead and use free ramps and all that kind of stuff, and it's just, but support some of the local bait shops. I mean, you're going to get bait right there anyway, so what the heck. But,
And so what are they biting on right now?
actually, the biggest thing they're doing right now is just your shrimp. They've got some huge shrimp coming in. What they call, if you go down to Frank's, in fact, maybe one of the guys from Frank, like Robert or somebody, can call in and explain the different sizes of the shrimp you get. Normally, you go in and get, a dozen shrimp out there, for, $6, $7, something like that. Or you can go ahead and get what they call the hand-pick select. And these things are the type that you're going to go ahead and, like going up to the saltwater cafe, I saw them serving some shrimp out there, and these things look like baby lobster. That's what these things are. And the general rule is the bigger the bait, the bigger the fish. Now, that's not always true. Okay, if you're looking at snapper or sheep's head, a small piece of bait tipped on a jig or something, that's when you're going to use that type of fishing technique. But, there's just so many things out there. I mean, anybody that's interested in fishing out here, stop down to your local bait shops and talk to these guys because they will give you some really, really good, true information, all right? If you're out sitting in a bar someplace and you got a bunch of guys wasted kind of talking, you'll be surprised at how many huge, huge, huge old man of the sea fish they catch. At least they say.
Okay.
Right? And they're going to tell you exactly where to go to get those. Oh, yeah, you got to go down here to, to Marion and turn left and sit at the bar down there, and you can get some more big stories.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the fishing report from Captain Kirk, and Nancy's got her entertainment report about what's coming up with the Nav-A-Gator in the near future. And You get some great entertainment. You've had some great entertainment, and a lot of great entertainment coming.
Yes, there is. Thursday night we have Latitude, 6 to 9.
Come out of South Carolina.
Saturday we have Jim Morris, 2 to 5. And Emma's Tree, formerly known as Third Wheel Tuesday, 2 to 5.
Yep.
And, Shamrock Hippo, 5:30 to 8:30 on St. Patrick's Day.
You know anything? If
How
anybody,
many years have you been doing this?
yeah,
I think it's 4 going on 5.
Wow.
yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
It's fun, and we need the Irish
yeah.
whiskey cake.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that's the word.
Oh man,
Maureen,
that was like a sponge that was just
That was delicious.
very good.
Dennis, that's all it was a huge sponge shake like a cake. With
Sponge
whiskey.
cake.
Yeah, sponge cake. That is, Maureen has made that for I think 4 or 5 years, and Diane says, let me know if it's coming. I won't eat anything.
The thing is, they got to bring it in a cooler so it doesn't leak.
We actually had that. Peter, see if you can find that. We had that up on our website as a
picture or video?
No, we had the recipe for the
Really?
Irish whiskey cake.
Oh, you don't want to give away the recipe.
Oh, we had it up there though. Maureen gave it to us. It was up there for a long time, and a lot of people wrote it down. And coming up at Vasani's this week, you got Michael Armstrong with Sid Davis. That's going to be a great show. Sid comes in sometimes as a headliner, but Michael is definitely the headliner, and Sid Davis coming in as well with the pasta specials, everything. Be a good weekend at Vasani's. Also, it is the member guest out of Kingsway this weekend, the Green Blazer. And right now it's time for our weather forecast and our traffic update.
Good morning, everyone.